where are we at? Because when we heard from the House Speaker yesterday, he said that basically they would be talking every day until a deal was done.
It's a fairly mixed signals at best, Heidi, as you mentioned there. We had some Republican negotiators coming out of those talks today making the point that substantial movement needs to be made on the Democrat side. They used the word impasse in terms of where the talks are at. And like you said, they said there aren't any other meetings set up for the moment. But at the same time, though, they also said substantial progress has been made on some of the core issues in terms of where the Republicans are looking for further spending cuts, especially on social welfare programs for those out of work, for example. He made the point that they're not going away. So the door appears to be open for ongoing talks. But the mood music is that we're getting ever closer to this X date that Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen is talking about. You see the markets are getting a little bit jittery now about this. They had been relatively sanguine up to now. But by all accounts, I think over coming days, I would imagine investors will want to see more clarity in terms of where these talks will be going.
Yeah, yields on securities maturing June 6th, topping 6%. But you said it. I mean, there's this questioning of even the X date. And I guess how concerning is it that the talks could drag on and we might eventually get to an accident?
So there are two things going on. You have the Republicans who are quite sceptical about the Treasury calculations and pushing back on this idea that early June is the X date. They're seizing on market analyst notes and they're talking about some of their own estimates suggesting that, the Treasury could keep things ticking over for a little while later into June, giving more time for these talks to go on. But also, of course, you have the White House in the mix. Their own colleagues were reporting today that the Treasury sent out a memo to all of the agencies saying, making sure that they're essentially getting their calculations correct in terms of how long they can keep things running for in terms of money. So there is a view that perhaps the White House might like to try and string this out until the mid-June period when the next big tax payments are due, and then of course that would allow them to kick the whole process down the road too. So both sides are dancing around the edges a little bit on this, but you have to say that the sooner or the closer we get to that X date, one would imagine global markets' focus will sharpen considerably on this. We have been in this kind of grey zone whereby it's quite sanguine. Everyone expects ultimately there will be an outcome. But the closer we get to that date, and if it is apparent that both sides are really locked in, then I think you will see much more volatility around this story.